Hey guys, Mark Taylor from GameSkinny, aka Lord Hammer from GuildArmor.com, and we're here at E3 Day 1, and we're in the CCP booth. I actually ran into my buddy Ned Coker, actually acquaintances, and as you can see kind of around us, we have folks who are testing out the EVR system, and it looks like they're all got Oculus Rifts on, which is kind of interesting since we kind of just came from the Oculus Rift booth. So I've got a couple of the developers here, and I was wondering if you guys can tell us your names, what you kind of do at CCP, and maybe what we're hopefully going to see in a little bit.
Sure. I'm David Gundry. I was a programmer on the EVR project. I'm also an EVE Online programmer. Worked on the Odyssey expansion as well.
My name's Andrew Robinson. I was the lead artist on EVR, and I work in the art team on EVE Online.
Very cool. And so we'll try to not do too much of the passing, but can you tell us a little about what EVR is relative to EVE in that universe? Is it a completely separate game? Is it an integrated game? Is it going to be on the one server? What's the whole deal behind it?
So at the moment, it's a completely separate game. It's just a labor of love, essentially. We're really big fans of virtual reality. We just wanted to make a game in virtual reality. This is all done essentially in our spare time. We have something called 20% time at CCP, which means we can spend 80% of our time on work, 20% of our time on side projects, essentially. And this came out of that time, and a lot of weekend and evening work. At the moment, it's a completely separate game. It's not tied into EVE, except for the fact that it's set in the EVE universe. All the art assets were redone by Andy and some other guys on the team. That's the only tie to EVE at the moment. It's set in the EVE universe using the EVE IP, essentially.
Now, would you say that this was kind of something that was created as a labor of love relative to some of the feedback that folks have had about EVE? Because playing EVE, I still play EVE now, but I always have that desire to, instead of being a disembodied ship, want to sit in the cockpit and I want to kind of fly around and see things. Is that the reason why you did this?
It's just that this is the perfect setting to use virtual reality. Like, being in a tiny fighter ship just makes sense when you're in virtual reality. It's what everyone's always dreamed of doing. It's what everyone's always wanted to do. So we had the means to do it, so we did it.
Now,
I was going to say, partly we put the project together, not initially but decided that we would like to show it at FanFest, and see how the players reacted to it. It's kind of like that was a little bit of a test for us too, was just to see whether they are into it as much as we were into it, and we had amazing feedback from there. Like, it was incredible.
Got hooked up there. But so now, if this thing takes off, like I think it's definitely going to, is there a possibility, and I don't want to put anybody on the hook, do you think it's a possibility that it could maybe get uploaded or merged with the universe? And I guess the reason why I asked the question is because I'm thinking, like, in terms of really large-scale battles that you hear about, Goon Swarm and all the other big corporations that are out there having these massive 2-3 day battles. It would be awesome, to sit there and be flying in a ship that's gotten launched off of a carrier or Titan or something like that, and then you see all these other ships jump in, and it just becomes a massive battle. And of course, I'm speculating, nerd raging, sitting there going, wow, this would be this would be awesome, and I'm like sitting there spending your money before you even had a chance to talk it. So I mean, has any of that come into your head or any of that kind of stuff?
Yes and no. I mean, right now it is a proof of concept. It's a fun 3-minute game that we can take here, and people can sit and just enjoy Oculus Rift. They can enjoy EVE from a different perspective, get in the universe from a different slant. As for what we do with it after this, I don't know. We don't know which way it's going to go, but we hope it's going to go one way. And like the speculation we've had from you guys on the forums, and right now that spiel, it's that kind of enthusiasm, those kind of ideas that are soaking in to make what EVR could potentially become.
Thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to us, and we're getting ready to go try it out. So I know you're all jealous, but hey, somebody's got to do this for you. Thanks.